So let's talk about exponential growth. Exponential growth is a pretty cool concept and one of my favorites. Basically, the idea is this. Let's say that you started off with one zombie, right? On the next day, this zombie becomes 3 zombies, as zombies do. And then on the next day, each of these zombies become 3 more zombies. I'm just going to draw their heads now because it's too cumbersome otherwise. Right? And so you can kind of notice something about this pattern, right? 1 zombie became 3 zombies, became 9 zombies. So what is this increasing by? Well, it goes up 2 the first time, and then it goes up 6 the next time. If I was to draw this diagram out the next time, it would be 27, right, on day 4, right? And so it's gaining zombies at a pretty alarming rate. So how could I model this? I mean, how many zombies are there on day, let's say, 10, right? We'd expect a lot of zombies. Well, let's figure it out. Well, exponential growth is all about multiplication. And the x in exponential kind of reminds us of that, right? It's a little multiplication sign there helping us out, right? So it's all about multiplication. So really what we did is we took, like, how do we figure out that it went 1 zombie to 3 zombies to 9 zombies to 27 zombies? Well, each time it was gaining by a multiplication factor of 3, right? So each time we were multiplying by 3. So what I could do to figure out how many zombies there were on day 10 is I could take my original, right, 1, and then I would multiply by 3 to figure out on day, well, we can do it like this, right? So this is day 0, right, the starting point. On day 1 there were 3, day 2 there were 9, day 3 there were 27. Right? So if I want to figure out on day 2, I would just need to multiply by 3 again. If I want to figure out on day 3, I would just multiply by 3 again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Now this is kind of silly, right, to write this all out. There's a more condensed way of doing this. All of this, wish I was good at making those little bracket things. All of this is really just 3 to the 10th. I mean, how many times did I multiply by 3? 10 times. And this is just my starting amount, right? And so what I really have is 1 times 3 to the 10th. So our calculator is kind of nice for that, right? So what is 1 times 3 to the 10th? 1 times 3 to the 10th power. If you do it on there, you'll see, look at that. Can you see? 59,049 zombies. That is a lot of zombies. We can also do things that don't grow maybe necessarily as quick. Right? The average stock market return is like 8%, right? So what does it mean to grow by 8%? I mean, a lot of times we'll talk about exponential growth in the cases that we did before where like it's doubles or triples, and so that's how many times you're multiplying. But what if it's a percentage? Well, let's say I started out with $1,000, right? And I made 8% of that. So what number would I have to multiply 1,000 by to get 8% growth? Well, the key thing here is 8% is 8 over 100, right? Which is 0.08. So if I multiply by 0.08 by 1,000, I'm going to get 80 bucks, right? And 80 bucks isn't how much money I have at this that doesn't represent 8% of growth, right? So I have to do something a little bit strange here. I have to multiply by 1.8. What that means is I get 100% of my money back, right? And then I also, in addition to that, get 8%. And so if I multiply 1,000 by 1.08, you can see I get that value, and it like automatically adds to itself. So if I multiply this by 1.08 again, I get 11664, right? And so on and so forth. So you could ask the question, well, how much, if I start with $1,000, how much will it be worth in, I don't know, 50 years. Well, it'd be silly to keep doing this over and over and over again. It'd be a lot of writing. So I'm just going to think about what that means. To get it at the end of 1 year, I'm going to multiply by 1.08, 1.08, 1.08, right? And how many times am I going to do that? Well, if I do it for 50 years, I'm going to do it 50 times. So really what I want is 1,000 times 1.08 to the 50th power. So if you take that value, that should be 46,901 and 61 cents. A lot of cash.